G'day and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ray with another video about expat life in Thailand. I found this story in the Pattaya Mail and I felt it was worth sharing with you. However, please keep in mind my videos are only intended to provide information and hopefully some clarification. My disclaimer is in the video description. Recently, Thailand's prostitution industry has sparked global interest, with discussions on current laws and proposed changes gaining momentum. This video delves into the legal intricacies, penalties, and future initiatives surrounding prostitution in Thailand. Learn about the Sex Workers Protection Bill and its potential impact on the industry. Join me as I navigate the evolving landscape of sex work in Thailand, from legal challenges to proposed solutions. If you find this video helpful, help me by clicking like, and if you want to be notified when my next video is uploaded, subscribe, click the bell, and then click all. Recently, prostitution in Thailand is back in the news, primarily due to a report by the International Sex Workers Union that states that Thailand is in the top 10 countries worldwide for the number of sex workers. This has caused significant discussion online and some confusion about what the current laws are and what proposals are in place for potential changes to the laws. Prostitution in Thailand is a complex issue with a legal framework that is not straightforward. I'll give you a summary of the current laws, legal penalties, and future proposals regarding prostitution in Thailand. Prostitution itself is, surprisingly to many, not fully illegal in Thailand, but public solicitation for prostitution is prohibited if it is carried out openly and shamelessly or causes a nuisance to the public. The legal framework governing prostitution is based on 3 acts: the Prevention and Suppression of Prostitution Act, the Penal Code, and the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act. The Prevention and Suppression of Prostitution Act of 1996 explicitly forbids prostitution in public places and brothels, introducing fines for providing sexual services. This essentially makes any bar or club that has prostitutes illegal. Individuals who solicit sex in an open and shameless manner or cause nuisance to the public are subject to fines. Those associating in a prostitution establishment for the purpose of prostitution face jail terms or fines or both. The Penal Code stipulates that anyone over the age of 16 who subsists on the earnings of a prostitute shall be punished with imprisonment of 7 to 20 years and fined, or imprisoned for life. There are recent proposals to fully decriminalize prostitution in Thailand to ensure higher standards of safety for sex workers. A draft law, the Sex Workers Protection Bill, has been proposed to replace the existing Prevention and Suppression of Prostitution Act from 1996. The new law aims to grant fundamental labour rights, healthcare support, and social security to sex workers. These proposals are part of a broader discussion on how to manage the sex industry in Thailand, which is a significant economic sector, but also a source of social and legal challenges. The outcome of these proposals may depend on political developments, including national elections and the legislative process. The Sex Workers Protection Bill in Thailand is a significant legislative proposal aimed at legalizing and regulating sex work. Now, here are some key details about the bill. The bill seeks to legalize sex work, allowing it to be recognized as a fully legal profession. This would help in preventing exploitation and ensuring that sex workers are given legal protection. It sets a minimum age for providing and buying sexual services. and stipulates that payment for such services must be at an appropriate rate, not based on the minimum wage law. The draft requires sex workers to regularly undergo health checks to ensure their safety. They would also be eligible to apply for the Social Security scheme. Businesses employing sex workers must register for licenses with different registration requirements for operators in Bangkok and elsewhere. Licenses would be valid for 3 years and renewable if the law is abided by. The bill calls for the establishment of a protection center to prevent violence against sex workers. Identifying problem customers and prosecuting them would be part of the process. Customers may be required to provide ID, like going to purchase a SIM card or using a currency exchange. The bill penalizes customers who buy sexual services from minors aged 15 to 17 years old, with a jail term of 1 to 3 years, as well as a fine of 20 to 60,000 baht. The bill is drafted by the Ministry of Social Development and Human Social Security and is expected to be reviewed by the Thai government sometime later this year, that being 2024. If passed, it would lead to the scrapping of the Prevention and Suppression of Prostitution Act of 1996. This bill represents a collaborative effort from various agencies, including the police, and input from sex workers themselves. It aims to shift the perspective on sex work from a criminal activity to a profession deserving of legal rights and protections. However, there has been opposition to the Sex Workers Protection Bill from conservative and religious groups in Thailand. Past efforts by women's rights groups to decriminalize prostitution have met with strong resistance from these quarters. The mostly conservative Thai government and some religious organizations have historically opposed such measures to legalize prostitution, citing moral and social concerns. The opposition argues that decriminalizing sex work could lead to an increase in the industry, which they believe is morally wrong and harmful to the social fabric. They also express concerns about the potential for increased human trafficking and exploitation, despite the bill's intention to provide protection and legal rights to sex workers. However, it's important to note that the movement for the bill is gaining traction, and sex workers, along with advocates, are more vocal than ever about the need for their work to be decriminalized and recognized as a legitimate profession. The debate continues, and the outcome may depend on the political climate, public opinion, and the legislative process. Okay, cobbers, I've said my bit. Now I'd like to know your thoughts or questions on today's topic, so pop those in the comments. Thanks for joining me and staying to the end. Until the next video, share this one, take care, and bye for now.